Hi, I'm Lou and this is Evolutionary Eats, and this is a mango. I am going to make a delicious recipe for pork loin with a spicy rub and a mango salsa. I'm going to get started right now. So, present the mango. First up, to cut the mango, you go down the side of the seed. We've talked about this. I just hit it, so I'm going to wrap my knife. And this time I didn't get my utility knife, I'm using my chef's knife. Just to show you that this is a versatile way to do this. All right, and then you score it very carefully, making sure you don't cut the skin. I love mango salsas, and this has been the summer of the mango. They have been absolutely beautiful and very inexpensive. So then you take your spoon, see this? It's in cubes. So you just take the spoon and you kind of go down the edge, and I'm using a pretty sharp spoon. I have not tried this with a knife. I know people are just really talented with it. I'm not good. I would be cutting the crap out of my hand. So I'll just use the spoon. Now the reason to do this, I've seen people peel mangoes, and to be honest, mangoes are just so slippery that it just seems like it's more dangerous to peel it and then try to cut it up than it is to leave it in its nice little skin, its little jacket, and cut through this way. I also do this with avocados. Now you can see why I use a utility knife, because my elbow is up here while I'm trying to do this, because I'm a little short, so utility knife for me is a little better. This one I got a little more aggressive with the knife. So you can also kind of do this. This is where I'm okay with peeling it. Just kind of score around the outside of it with the knife. And you can still get some chunks off of this. That's where I'm going to stop and just pull that jacket off. Maybe, there we go. And then just kind of go down in slices very carefully, because you're going to hit that seed. You get a little bit more, not much. Now you can see how slippery this is. It's just like, you can see the seed right there, and that's what you're trying to avoid. It's actually all the way out to here. So that's why you just don't even bother with it. But it is good. Okay, so next up I have some scallions. And I'm going to cut them on the bias because they're pretty. We used to grow scallions, grow green onions like this when I was a kid. Man, I was the one that would just go right out to the garden and pull one of these up and munch away. I love them. We're going to save these little bits of tops for garnish. We are going to take some lemon, and I'm just going to use about the juice of about half of this. I'm putting my hand over it to make sure that it doesn't squirt up in my face. And then a hand underneath it to catch any seeds. Next you have a couple choices. It is hatch pepper season. And so I roasted a hatch pepper, seeded it, took the skin off, all of that good stuff. And that's what I'm adding in today. But also I usually use either red or orange or yellow bell peppers, because we got that little pop of green from the scallions. So this is going to be a green and orange salad today. Get that out of the way. My jazzing it up thing today is pickled sweet jalapenos. These are absolutely delicious. I'm going to throw it in, and they are pretty hot. And I want pretty small pieces of this. So I'm just going to run the knife through. This recipe is delicious, but it's kind of messy. There's a lot of wet products here. And then I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of dried thyme for a little bit of a herbaceous note. And then a good couple of pinches of lemon zest, which I'm actually also going to use for garnish. And then stir this all together. If you haven't had lemon and thyme together and mangoes and thyme, it's delicious. Now you could use this just on its own with a chip, but I'm going to use this as the sauce for my pork loins. And then I have some basil, and you're technically not supposed to cut basil because it bruises. So I'm just going to take one large leaf that I picked out of my herb garden, which I love, which it's 101 degrees outside and it doesn't like it. There we go. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about an hour and let this kind of cook together and get delicious, and then I will show you how to make the pork loin. The mango salsa is resting nicely in the refrigerator, and these are our pork loin chops. These are sort of the porterhouse T-bone style, and they're about an inch thick, so they might take a little bit of time to cook, but they are absolutely delicious. Now, I have my rub, and it is coriander, cumin, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, cardamom, smoked paprika, and did I say cayenne? And brown sugar. And in this case, I used dark brown sugar just because I like that molassesy rich flavor on this. So I am just going to rub these down. Oh, maybe I forgot thyme. Thyme is in here too. And I'm just going to flip it. Now I'm just going to cover this and stick it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. I'll be back. All right, so I've got a pan heating up over there. I've got a camera set up over there by my stove. So I'm going to go over there and cook those pork chops because they are ready. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this pan's getting hot enough, let's put some oil in here. I'm using grapeseed oil. Don't want to use a ridiculous amount, just enough to coat the pan. Let that heat up a little bit more. I'm going to crank that up to high. And here are our pork chops, that's hot, that have been resting for quite a while. They look perfect. And I've got this on medium. First one in, there we go, hear that sizzle. That's what you want to hear. Put the second one in, make sure they nest in there perfectly. Beautiful. Now give it a flip. That looks beautiful. Flip the other one. That looks beautiful too. One thing I like to do with these is kind of nest them up along the edge in that pan so the sides get browned a little bit. Now at this point, if the edges are not to your liking, just give them this, just turn them up and let that fat cook, get your hand away from the fire as much as you can. Do the same thing with this one, and roll it up on its side. So here they are, they look beautiful. I'm going to put these in a 300-degree oven for 15 minutes, and then we eat. Here we go, 2 beautiful pork chops, and I'm going to show you how to plate this. And it is going to be stunning. So just take some of this mango salsa and kind of make a ring. Now if you're going to make this for a crowd, you're going to need a lot of mangoes I don't recommend frozen, but you can do that. And then also add peaches, grill them. They're delicious that way. And a few other delicious ingredients. You could put cucumbers in here. There we go. And I'm going to take this one because it's just gorgeous. It's a little big. And kind of put that toward the center. And then just a little bit of this mango goodness on top. Some of that green. Not too much. You don't need much. And then we're going to take some of that basil, sprinkle it around. Again, you don't need much because it's already got the basil in it. A few more of those raw scallions. And then lemon juice. And then just to give it a little extra pop of lemon, I'm going to sprinkle on some of that zest. So here you have it, a beautiful pork chop recipe. You can do this as a pork loin. You could get boneless pork loin chops, whatever you want to do. But that mango salsa and the basil and the thyme and everything else that's in this make this an absolutely amazing recipe. This is one of my family's favorites. Every time I go to a family reunion, this is what they want me to make. This and nothing else. Oh, and fajitas, you know, because. So I have a wine pairing tonight, which I haven't done at all. So this is a beautiful wine. It's a rosé from Carneros, California. Let me see if I can get a picture of that. See how pretty that is? And it is absolutely perfect with this. It has just enough spice and all the other good stuff that go with this. And you will not be disappointed with this. I'm Lou. This is Evolutionary Eats. You can find me on Instagram at Evolutionary Eats. You can find me on Facebook at Evolutionary Eats. And once in a while, when I'm feeling frisky, I'll get on Twitter. So I'm Lou. Have a good evening and enjoy this recipe.